Hello everyone, I'm Talented Toy Boxer, and I've got Iron Fist here with me tonight. And we're back in our tutorials toy box, which means it's time for another episode of Toy Box Tutorials. So the topic that we are going to be focused on for today's lesson is the target camera toy. And we're going to be focusing on this a lot, like the Path Creator. And I'm going to do I'm going to do a 6-step tutorial. I'm going to do 6 videos on these cameras. So if we open the editor, and I added in some additional things here. I replaced the Mickey Topiary with the Infinity logo and put some of these up here, the Mickey Topiaries. And I'm not exactly sure I have enough space to put this here because the player might be able to see it. But if we come to the Creativa Toys drawer, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a Creativa toy. Just going to grab this right here. Now if we scroll over here and past the teams and the remote controller, we have 4 cameras here. We have an angled one, which we will be talking about. You can put these cameras under the map. This is the only toy you can do that with. You can do that with the trigger area and the scalable barrier block. We have a target camera, and this can be facing at anything in the toy box that it's connected to. We have a bird's eye camera, and a lot of these are from like some games or something. We have a sidestep camera, and I think this is the one that you can make the side-scrolling one. Yeah, you can make a side-scrolling game with this. We're not talking about this. We're going to talk about the target camera. So this points at like any target, and it will point. Pretend I wanted to point at this tree. It's gonna point at that tree or something. If I hook it up to that, and you can hook this up to like a locator, and that will be at the location of that or whatever. So we're gonna place down a button here, and this button's gonna activate the target camera. So if we connect it here, we have 2 options, obviously activate and deactivate. You should know how all those work, because you do. So when Iron Fist pushes the button, as you can see, I want you to notice that on the screen it said press this button to exit this mode, so that the player knows what mode so the player knows what mode they're going to exit and how to exit it. So I can't move my camera because the target camera is connected to this, and this is a camera. I can't adjust my camera. Since this is a camera, I can't move it anymore, my camera. And I want you to notice this with your eyes. It's pointing at me. It's pointing at me, so everywhere I move, the camera's just gonna follow me non-stop. So if we push that button it was talking about, it's gonna escort us out of that target camera mode. So if we open the logic menu, I want to use spark mode, not the magic wand. So we have a lot of options here. So we're gonna talk about that in a second, and we have a ton of properties here. We're gonna talk about this use defined duration. We're going to talk about that in a second, but here we have display duration. So if you use this set to on, you can set like a limit to when it automatically gets deactivated. So I'm going to demonstrate this by leaving this set to 5. So it's a duration of 5 seconds, similar to the time delayer. And when 5 seconds have passed, and by the way, you can go, no, okay, you can't go inside of it. You can if you don't have the magic wand, but I'm inside of it now. But anyways, so it's gonna be a duration of 5 seconds basically, and then it's gonna automatically turn itself off. So we push the button. Alright, it tells me that I can exit the mode. Wait 5 seconds, and boom, there we go. I don't have to press that button. It automatically turns itself off. So that's good. We know how it works. And some of these properties, they're broken on some of the consoles due to the patch updates on some of them. So on the Wii U, some of the properties are going to be broken for you. But I'm on the PlayStation 4, so some of these might work for me, even though they can't on the Wii U for you. And and we're gonna talk about this option right here. So I'm gonna turn this off right here. I'm gonna turn that off and have this be just 10. That's just set to 10, and that's when you spawn the toy, and that's automatically set to 10. Push the button. So as you can see, if we walk behind this button right here, you can see my character has like a green glow, like an X-ray type of view and everything, and that's just to keep track of where the player is. And a lot of people actually hate that. Some people hate that, but that's just to keep track. And I think you can see this view in the Toy Box Takeover game. I think you can see that. You can see this right here. This occurs after you play the Hero Destroyer. Or if you go behind something, that's going to show up because there's a camera. So now I'm going to exit that, and if you don't want that, if you don't like that option, you can come to glow through. You can have that be set to off. So now we're going to hit the button again to demonstrate what that just did. So when you push the button, walk behind this, and you can see that Iron Fist is essentially just hiding behind the button. It is no longer giving us that X-ray view or keeping track of where the player actually is in the toy box. So I'm going to exit this camera view, and now we're going to come back here. So he was essentially hiding, basically. So now we're going to talk about these vertical and horizontal offsets in this video. I don't know when though, but let's see what we have here. And you can connect this to like an enemy in your toy box or a locator. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna connect it up to a locator. I'm gonna have this be just this right here. It's gonna focus on these guys over here. So we're gonna come to the target camera, do a new locator connection, connect it up to here, camera target, and make sure it's facing this way. And what way is that facing? The exact same way. I want to make sure it's facing that way, because it's probably gonna face this way or something. And I like all the townspeople jumping up and down at the exact same time there. And now, when we push the button, it's gonna be viewing at that. It's gonna be looking at that. So we push the button. Alright, so I forgot to do something. And we have to connect this to a locator real quick. And we already did that, but I think it's player viewport. No, it's not. So, let's see. We have to go to camera target, be connected locator. So there we go. It looked like it got rid of a bunch of options, but it didn't. So that's something I forgot to do. And I'm going to show you what that is, what all those options were in there. What was it again? Camera target. We have all triggering actor, the player. We have every player basically. Connected locator, a specific player, and a little townsperson like an actor or an enemy or anything. So we push the button. It's going to be looking at that locator. And you can see I can just walk off screen over here. And it didn't exactly do what I wanted it to point at. I wanted it to point at the townspeople over here. But since I already have these toys in, it's just going to probably get rid of this and rebuild it again. So you can see it's pointing at that locator, and that I can get as far from the camera as possible. So I can just run off screen. So if I walk over here, I can run off screen and do some stuff off screen. So essentially hiding again, I can get as close to the camera as I want. Hit the camera, it doesn't do anything. I don't know where I am. So I'm just going to exit that camera mode. Oh, I was actually right here. So I don't want it to be connected to that locator anymore. So I'm going to have this be just set to all. So like that. And now what we're gonna do is open the editor, and we're gonna come to the cast members drawer, and this is to represent what actor you can use this for. So let's have this be like Rex from Toy Story. So I don't want him to be standing still, so he's just gonna be running off like that. Gonna do a new actor connection, connect it up to Rex camera target, so it'll be focusing on him. And yes, we do have to change this. We do have to come to camera target and have this be connected actor. I think this is here. Yeah, it's right here. So there we go. And if we push the button, it's only gonna focus on Rex now, since we did that. And since we set it to this, to connected actor, it's not going to be looking at the locator. It's not going to be looking at the locator. It's now going to be looking at Rex when we push the button. I want to make sure the button's not in the way. So I'm going to wait for Rex to move, push the button. There we go. You can see it's now focusing on Rex now. And I can move around, and the camera's going to... Hold on, let me push this guy. The camera's going to be focusing on him, and if he ever moves around, and you can see, I can just go in the lock on target menu and just run around in circles like that. That's something that you can do. You can also equip some packs and tools and shoot the cast member or whatever, like that. And you can also hit it like this. You can do that, and it just sends them flying. I don't know where my character is. Oh, there he is. So you can just hit the townsperson or whatever, like that. And for Rex, I'm gonna exit this. And I'm gonna go ahead, no, not this ball. Not the baseball gun, whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and put Rex into my toy box. Right there, like that. It's still connected. Now we're gonna come over here to the properties. And if we come to these two options, vertical offset, and set this to like 5, it's gonna be like the dynamic trigger. It's gonna be 5 units, and it's gonna move vertically 5 units. So when we push the button, oh wait, I forgot, it's still on Rex. So what I want to do is I want to have it be on the player now. I'm just gonna have it be just all to default like that, so it's not going to be focusing on Rex now. We push the button, you can see it's raised a bit higher. It will still follow my character, and I'm gonna teach you what the horizontal offset does. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this mode, the camera mode, and now we're gonna come back to this properties. We're gonna have this be set to 0, and we're gonna set this to -5 like that. So we're gonna push the button, and you can see it's gonna be facing this way. And to make it a bit similar to the dynamic trigger, we're gonna add in, and Rex is running directly into the button, just a couple of these square blocks. We're not gonna use this, but this is gonna be and this is going to just be an example of something, so we don't need these. That was just like that was just to to show. And if we move it over here, if we move those buttons over there, it would show that offset. Basically, it would show what it looked like, but with blocks. So I'm gonna have this be regular, that one. And now we're gonna talk about, I'll just leave these set to default, the camera type. And before we do that, we have zoom distance, and if we leave this set to like 15 or something like that, if we set that to 15,
you and I share the same path for a moment,
and push the button, nothing really changed there. And that's the distance. This is going to be the distance of the camera, so I'm going to set that to like 5. And that one didn't really change anything, but we're going to set this to like 5. And we're gonna all set these back to the normal one. And you can see that it's not really like working or anything. We might have to tweak one of the properties on this to make it work. And you should know how that works since I explained it. I forgot how to get it working, but you should know how it works. But now we're gonna come to start transition and end transition. I don't know why they're separate from each other. We have three options: fade, and before we talk about that, we have to come to, I forgot what it was, camera type. That's what I was looking for. So if we set this to stationary, this is going to only be facing one direction. So this is going to be facing only one direction, and I can go off screen like that other option I showed you when it was connected to Rex. I can go off screen and I can just hide. And yes, I can get as close to the camera as possible until I go inside of it, then you can't see me. But where's my character at? Oh, there he is. So let's see if I can do this. Oh, I can. And I'm gonna exit that view of the camera. So now we're gonna come over to here. And zoom distance, what this does, it just brings the camera closer or something. Oh, not end transition. We're gonna come to camera type. If we set it to focus, then we're gonna see what that does. You're gonna see what this does in just a second, but hit the button right here. Like that. You can see this option treats the camera as if it's like on a tripod. I can go
an immortal weapon.
I can go under it. I can just go anywhere, but it's still gonna focus on me. It's gonna like pan like this. So it's just gonna focus on me. Basically, that's what it means. And I can just fall off, and it's gonna focus on my character, and then it's gonna put me back on the terrain block. And I can go as distant as I possibly can, and it's still gonna be focusing on me. And I can no longer hear the sound effects of Iron Fist Q from the game anymore. And I'm just gonna fall down now. Alright, I'm gonna exit that point of view there. So now I can hear this sound effect. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come to end transition and the start transition. If we have this set to fade, I think that turned on a couple options, but if we have that set to fade, we push the button right here, and it's gonna turn the screen black. And the glow through option doesn't just work with the player, it can work with a townsperson, an enemy, or something. But we push the button, you can see it turns the screen black for a second. That's what fade means. And now the target camera sometimes comes completely invisible for some reason. So now we're gonna come back over here to start transition, and we're gonna have this be swing. And I don't remember the update patch, so this might not work for me. But I don't actually think it works because it didn't do anything. So I don't think that works. I think that just broke that option for me as well. So I want the camera type to be the regular type, follow, like that. And here's one option, and you probably saw this option, but I didn't mention it a lot. But we're gonna have this start transition be cut. So if we have this set to off, and this says use camera position to set zoom distance, and if you leave this set to on, it's just gonna do nothing. It's just gonna do the same thing. It's just gonna follow the player around. But if you leave it set to off, it's not gonna be distant from the player, the exact same distance. So when we push it, you can I'm not sure, but doesn't it look a lot closer? But I think we can now get that option working. The zoom distance. I'll have that be set to 15. And we're gonna see if this changes anything or if it just doesn't work. We're gonna have to push the button. You can see, alright, that didn't work that time, but you can see that it is way closer to me now than it was before. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave those options set to the regular option. So you have to turn this off if you want it to be very distant to the player. And if you leave this set to like 4 or something, we're gonna go ahead and push the button. It's gonna be really close to your character,
It's good
like
to see
that.
you.
It's just gonna be really close to your character. And let's see what my special looks like up close. Alright, so it looks like that. Then it attacks your screen. So yeah, on 4 it just makes it look extremely close to your character like that. So I'm gonna exit that little camera. I'm gonna exit that mode. And I'm gonna have this be set to on. I'm gonna have this be set to 20, the regular one. And if you leave this set to 100, it's gonna be very distant from the player. I think there's a 100 option. Let's have it be. Okay, yeah, it looks like there is a 100 option, but I'm not sure. It looks like it ends at 90 or something. Oh, there's a 100 option. Alright, so now we're going to see how distant this is. If you leave it set to 100, it's going to be very distant from your character. Look, I just look like a bunch of pixels. I look pixelated. And so does Rex a bit. I'm not sure if you can see that or if it's just my TV. But, okay, I thought the target camera was very distant for some reason, but since I demonstrated that, I'm going to have this go all the way back to 20 now. So, we're getting closer. You can see we're almost approaching that, and we are about to approach that number. Right, here we are. And there we go. Oh, I didn't mean to exit this, but now if we come to end transition, have it be fade, and if we do this, we're gonna have it be that. We're gonna have it be 5 seconds apart. I think if you just exit it by normal, it's gonna do that. So let's just have that be off. Have that be 10. And those are gonna be some things that I explain, and I don't have you need a second player for that, and I'm going to be explaining what these options do in a second. So we push the button, and when we exit it, hold on, is this set to fade, the end transition. Alright, the end transition set to fade, so maybe we have to have it be like that. I think I did something wrong there. And I'm not sure fade actually works with my PlayStation 4. So if it doesn't, okay, never mind. It did a fade like twice for some reason. So it does. So some of these might be broken for me. So you won't be able to see them in game. So I'm going to come to camera. No, not camera type. End transition. Let's see if swing works. And I'm going to push the button now to demonstrate
Let me know if you
what
see
this
any
does.
mystical dragons.
And some of these I can't demonstrate, and you can see that absolutely nothing happened. So I think the update patch broke that. So I'm gonna have this be cut. And if we come to player viewport, we can have it be a triggering player. So it's just the triggering player. We can have it be all players. And what this means, if there's a second player in your toy box, that second player can see that camera view and see what you see, that camera view that you see when you push the button. And we have player 1, and if you have it be player 1, it's not going to affect player 2's screen. You can have this be a specific player. If you have it be player 2, it's not going to affect player 1's screen. They're going to be able to see this camera angle. And here we have a local players shared viewport and all players shared viewport. And and since the Disney Infinity servers are down and there's no online basically all these do just the same thing. And And if you have it be local player shared viewport, then every player is going to be able to see that camera angle, but it's not going to be split screen anymore. Every single player is going to be inside that camera angle, but it's just going to be one screen, no split screen or anything, and that basically does the same thing for all players. So I wanted to point that out. And by the way, this means just how many seconds, if you're wondering. And those are the target camera basics. I forgot to explain those are basics. So that's all the stuff I wanted to disclose about this target camera and all the basics of this toy. So thank you for watching this episode of Toy Box Tutorials. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe.
Hello,
Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you comment down below like any support or anything, any toy box ideas or anything. Share the video with a friend, and as always, I will see you next time.